Victoria, and I'm 22. This is the first episode of my Radiance of Aura podcast, and it is called Conceited, and I got a reason, okay? Because usually what fitness influencers do is they start off with, their weight loss journey and how they lost weight and the type of things that they implemented in order to get that weight put off. But something that I wanted to talk about, I wanted to do a much different approach and talk about the mindset and the transformation within my mindset that ultimately got me my results and got me to where I'm at right now. Because I believe that your mindset is more important than all the crazy things that you can implement into trying to lose weight or gain weight or whatever your fitness. No matter what fitness regimen you start, your mindset is pretty much what's the most important thing. And how you perceive yourself and what you believe you deserve and what you believe you're worthy of. So let's go down memory lane a little bit. I first started my fitness journey on and off in high school. That's where a lot of my friends that came from. It's always good to connect with like-minded individuals. But after high school, not necessarily after high school, but within my senior year, I started to drift away from that type of thing, and I was more so interested in romance, and I became kind of like a hopeless romantic, and what I could see from that, and I wasn't necessarily too confident within myself my senior year. A lot of my confidence went towards what people would say to me, like outside validation and stuff like that. And that's partially why I don't even have my comments turned on right now, because I don't seek validation from anybody. I just put my art out there, and whoever resonates with it, and whoever can take something from it, So off of that tangent, basically what I was saying about high school and how I got into a relationship and became a hopeless romantic, and I kind of became a little bit obsessed within that relationship, and it had actually got to the point where I did end up getting pregnant, and that's kind of when things went kind of downhill for me. Outside of just seeking validation from everybody else, I wasn't really able to think for myself, because I wasn't necessarily sure what I wanted to do about this big change that was coming into my life, and what I wanted to see out of it, and how I was going to see this through. And I was really scared, because I was only 18. I was only 18, and I only knew the guy for about 6 to 7 months before it all happened, and I couldn't see myself doing that with somebody that I didn't even know for the duration of a pregnancy, you know what I mean? So I was really scared, and I was just getting a whole bunch of advice from other people on what to do and how I should go about it and stuff like that. And then once things came through, and I decided that I wasn't going to go through with the pregnancy, and I decided to make my decision, I became very depressed and very ashamed and very guilty of the decision that I made for a really long time. And I let myself go. I gained a lot of weight. And also keep in mind within all of this, I did get my abortion a day before class started, and it's not something that anybody could really understand that I was going through. And I just kind of shut down, because I was still going through it. My body was still going through it, and I ended up just leaving school. I didn't even finish the semester. I didn't have the energy, the capacity, the time. I I was more so obsessed with the relationship because I was very guilty. I had survivor's guilt for what I did. And I was very persistent on trying to make things work. After my abortion, my body really didn't go back to normal. My period wasn't really on track. And I became very scared of, that type of thing happening again. So I went and I got an IUD, which honestly is the worst birth control that you can ever get on. I don't recommend it to anybody because it just made things 10 times worse. Things 10 times worse. But yes, and my periods would be a week long, very heavy, very painful, and I was eating very poorly, and just my overall health was just very, very bad. So I had to take things into better hands, and I had to really think about what I wanted. Oh, I would start implementing these different things such as detoxes and crazy challenges and just stuff like that. I didn't necessarily have a really good training regimen. I would just kind of do quick shit that I would hope would help me lose weight in a fast rate that I found on YouTube. That Chloe Ting workout. I know y'all heard of that. But yeah, I've done that, and I would start to see results and then I would stop. And the only way that I was honestly able to start to be consistent within what I was doing was when I was able to take the focus off of other people and really start to focus on myself. And see, the thing about that is, but like I was saying, it's definitely not an overnight thing. It really took me a lot of experience, a lot of learning myself, and a lot of learning, how I interact with other people to really understand that you're the most important person within your life, and the only person that's going to see a better you or envision that better you and try to put that into action is you. And for that reason, within these relationships and stuff like that, I would have this quick scheme with how I was treating myself. I would half-ass everything, but then put everything into these relationships that weren't necessarily giving back to me how I should have been giving to myself. Fast forward past my first relationship, all of that stuff that I was talking about. I ended up getting into a relationship towards the beginning of this year, and I was consistent in the gym, but that relationship was draining me, and I wasn't necessarily being honest with myself, and I wasn't necessarily being honest with him either, because I was pouring way too much into the relationship, where I was consistent in the gym. Yes, I had that mindset, but everything else is outside of that. I was very sick, and if you know, I don't have really any pictures from the beginning of this year because I was very sick. But yes, I was very mentally and physically sick. I wasn't really able to keep my food down because majority of the time I didn't really eat like that. The only thing that I would really keep down is some fries and some smoothies and stuff like that. But I would find myself getting food poisoning and stuff like that very easily because I was not taking care of myself the right way. I was going to the gym 5 times a week, not even getting 1,000 calories in every day. I was very sick. And I really hated myself. I'm not even gonna lie, because I wasn't really taking care of myself at all. I was just running. I would go to the gym, I would work 50-hour weeks, and I had a very excessive smoking problem. I smoked like a chimney, oh my gosh. So I was very comfortable within, just going to the gym, taking care of what I needed to take care of, and smoking because I had these goals that I wanted to, get towards, that I had these things that I wanted to see within my life, that, at this point don't really even matter. But yes, not just the relationship kind of just like went into that, but like also I was in 2 car wrecks this year, and that really took a lot out of me, and that's not something that really anybody's able to understand. From my perspective, I almost lost my life twice. So, and I kind of wanted, it's really sad to say this, but I kind of wanted sympathy for what I was going through and the things that I was doing and stuff like that, rather than just, you know what, fuck it, I don't really even have to go through this, there's something else that I can be doing, because there's so many different ways that you can do something. So, I'm not going to give you the whole sob story of what happened in the relationship or anything like that, because that's nobody's business. But what it came down to was self-worth, and knowing what I was worth, and knowing what I wasn't going to put up with, and setting those boundaries to where I'm not going to let nobody fuck with my energy no more. And I'm not going to compromise what I want for myself and what I'm going through in order to fix. But yes, in order to fix somebody else, or in order to help somebody else, you gotta know what's right for you, when to stop, and when to call it quits with people. And once I finally decided to make that decision, that's when I started seeing results, because I started actually really taking care of myself and really living life through the experiences, not just going to the gym, but making an experience out of it. If there's people around that want to talk to me, I'll converse with them. If I'm not really feeling like going all the way through my set gun ho, I will take a second and I will just sit there. I might just take some selfies, just because I'm feeling cute. It's just about the little things and taking your time. When it comes to fitness, you don't never want to rush the process. The process is ultimately what you fall in love with. Because I had a lot of ups and downs. Before I was feeling really low and didn't really have any self-esteem at the beginning of this year. Before that relationship, I was feeling really good about myself. And I was implementing these things and stuff like that. But, sometimes you fall off and you got to get back on the wagon. And there's nothing wrong with positive cycles, positive moods, and if they're helping you progress. If they're helping you progress, there's nothing wrong with it. If you're seeing progress within something, then that's good. But if you're not seeing any progress within a loop, it's not for you, and you're too comfortable, and that's something that you need to get out of. You should always question yourself. Why do I act like this? Why do I do that? Why don't I do that? Just different little things like that, and just revisiting different parts of yourself that you believe need work. There's nothing wrong with wanting to see better, with refining and sculpting better vision within your life. That's not called being hard on yourself. Being hard on yourself is sitting within what you have going on and not liking it. And you just sit within it and you still, continue to put up with it, even though you know that it's no good for you. That's what being hard on yourself really is. It's always good to improve in different areas that you believe that you need to improve in. Back in the day when I was in middle school and I wore like a size 16 and I was like almost 200 pounds, 5'2", I was bullied a lot. And I was intimidated a lot. I had never felt like I would be able to fit in with anybody, or be able to, have a normal life. And like, what even is that? What even is a normal life? Life is really what you make it. And to this day, I still feel like I don't really fit in, and that's fine. I don't really seek to fit in with anybody or with anything necessarily. I just seek to improve in different areas within my life, and I know that within improving in these different areas, I'm going to attract the people and the energies that vibrate with my frequency. Because I don't want to just be hanging around and fucking around with anybody. You got to be very protective and private about what you have going on and what you got going for yourself. With that being said, not being able to feel like I fit in and stuff like that, I just kind of block the world out, and I self-isolate, and I become very self-obsessive in redefining what I believe life is all about, and always questioning myself, and always trying to find new ways to improve, because nobody's going to help you improve. Nobody's really, people are going to help you along the way, but you're solely in charge of your own growth and where you want to go. So I think that whatever you choose to obsess about, make it a positive obsession. I used to obsess about relationships, and I used to obsess about weight loss and my goals and, that type of thing. But now I'm more so obsessed about sharpening different skills, different avenues in which I can incorporate into my life that can help me grow in different areas, which is why I ended up starting a podcast. That's something that I thought about for a really long time. If you know, you know. And the reason why I held off for about 3 years is because I just didn't feel like whatever I had to say was worthy of being heard, and that also goes into self-esteem. You get to make a big deal about whatever you want. So nowadays, anytime that I hit a goal or a milestone or I get some good news, I'm making a big deal about it, and everybody's got to know, yup, and not to shove it in anybody's face or anything like that. It's mainly because I was never there. I've never been where I'm at right now. I've never, accomplished this much in my life. Back in high school, I didn't really do much anything aside from JRTC, and that was kind of outside of myself. Everything that I have going on for myself is truly for me, and how I can improve and how I can grow. So I try to celebrate myself often. So that is episode 1 of my podcast. Just keeping it short and sweet. Hopefully you took something from it. Thank you a lot for watching, because I know that there's a lot of podcasts out there on self-esteem and loving yourself, but you listened in on my perception and my story, so it's greatly appreciated. The whole reason why I started this podcast was just so that you guys can get a little bit familiar with me, because I don't really talk that much on my Instagram. I just put my stuff out there, and that's about it. because when you sign up for my one-on-one coaching, it's so that when you sign up for one-on-one coaching, if you decide to do that or you decide to take one of my classes, you're already a little bit familiar with me and my backstory and what I've been through, so that I can have a little bit more time getting to understand you and what you're going through and your mindset and helping you improve, because it's really all about you. It's not about me. So thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day. It's all love.